My name's Sam Schaefer, 33 years old, and I've been described basically as a wellness junkie. It started off as a trainer and it being into coaching CrossFit. I coach breath work. I get a lot of people that ask me for help with mindset type problem solving. I never remember not being into hockey. I got involved in the Highland Games. It's a unique way to try to move, and it's very specific and it's really demanding, and I want that. The next thing on the list is plans to fight in a couple months. You have to get in there, you have to do the training, you have to build those skills, you have to deal with the consequences of your actions in that arena. And I like that. I was not your stereotypical go to the military person. I was going to the University of Missouri. I was a few semesters in, and I just started to realize I didn't have the language for it at the time, but now I can look back and say this was doing nothing to make me the best version of myself. Near the end of my third semester, my brother returned from a deployment with the Army, and I went to go see him, and it didn't take me long to realize I felt like I should be on the other side of the line. That's how I ended up joining the military. That's also where I sustained my injury. September 6th of 2011, I was in Biloxi, Mississippi at Air Traffic Control School. We had gone to the pool, and because of the phase of training I was in, we weren't allowed to use the bus yet, so we had to run to and from the pool. Clipped a curb, came down, rolled the ankle all the way over, heel touched the ankle. In my infinite wisdom, I was like, I'm here to go. Got up and finished the run, and that was my last moment out of pain for 9 years. In one fall, developed complex regional pain syndrome. I was treatment resistant. Everything we tried either yielded 0 or negative. I had doctors early on feel really comfortable telling me, I don't think complex regional pain syndrome is real. I was offered opiates really early on. I raised concerns over the long-term use. Very few things in this life scare me. Addiction is one of them. And so at that point, I was on my own. Relationships kind of breaking down. You don't want to be very social when you're in constant pain. Why would I go spend a bunch of money to go be miserable somewhere? You don't go on trips. You don't go on vacations. You don't, that's an age range where you're hanging out with your friends at bars. So I wasn't doing that.
I wrote a book chapter and several papers about a condition called complex regional pain syndrome and other painful nerve injuries. And that's also something that not a lot of people are interested in, and that is what Sam had, complex regional pain syndrome. Just with my background in nerve surgery, I pretty much immediately knew exactly what the problem was that had been missed that led to him having this painful condition. It was when he broke his fibula, he was put in a cast. The cast put pressure on the fibular fracture, and that was exactly underneath the superficial peroneal nerve, which is a very sensitive nerve, and I was almost certain that he had injury of that nerve that set this whole cascade off. But, he was essentially living in 9 out of 10 pain for years and years and years. But he was a dedicated athlete, and he somehow, even though he could barely put weight on that leg, even though he was in constant pain, he was still, doing these intensive workouts, CrossFit, being a CrossFit coach, somehow coaching other people through fitness and everything.
He is the first one that asked me how I was doing. Dr. Felder just listened. He's like, what's going on? How you doing? Obviously, things aren't great if you're looking for an amputation.
Not everybody with a problem with their foot or leg or massive wounds or whatever is going to do well from reconstruction. Sometimes things are so damaged that they'll have a more functional result with amputation. And choosing what's going to give people the best function is kind of the biggest part of my job. You do have to be careful about jumping to something drastic like that. And that was concerning to me, but I also understood how much this was ruining his life and how much he was suffering. So we kind of extensively explored, what would be involved with attempting to fix the pain by nerve decompression, and he wasn't interested in that. I did sort of do due diligence and made him see another pain management doctor about potentially getting a spinal cord stimulator, something that wouldn't fix the problem but could mask pain symptoms enough to maybe let him be active, but that also is something he wasn't interested in.
I care about living the life that I want to live, and I wanted to live a pain-free life. If you truly feel like if you feel good with this and you're ready for it, I'm ready to put you on the schedule. We scheduled it then.
I did kind of a really full-on reconstructive surgery for his leg, incorporating all the different elements that you can with bony stabilization, soft tissue coverage, and nerve transfers to decrease the chance of nerve pain.
The next thing I know, I just woke up real groggy and out of pain for the first time in my life. And my brain just didn't know what to do with that space. And I'm just, I'm emotionally all over the place. So to actually get out of there and not have the pain was so far past what I was prepared to handle. I lost my entire 20s. By the time that Dr. Felder did his thing, I had lost a third of my life. My memory is shot from those years, partly for pain, for lack of sleep, all these things, but I actually have very few memories, and almost none of them are positive because it's those negative things that cut deep enough to stick.
He's dedicated himself to training others, and specifically adaptive training. I don't do a lot of social media, but he's basically like the one account I follow because every day he's doing something that's just mind-blowing for somebody who's had an amputation. And I have had a number of other patients who are really active athletes who have had problems with amputations that we've had to fix or who have required amputation. And, I've been able to refer them to Sam. I say, you got to go meet this guy. He's a trainer. He can really get you back to your peak. And having him as a resource like that has been phenomenal. I think it's given a lot of people a lot of hope.
All the training and coaching that I do is about preventing and getting out of pain and longevity and living the life that you choose and not letting it happen to you. Because that's what was happening. His life was happening to me. Because of the actions I took and the accountability I took over everything, I eventually finally got to happen to it instead.
He's intense. He's passionate about what he does. He's knowledgeable about what he does. He's free to share the information. He's also a great example of someone who's overcome a lot of obstacles in his own life and been successful at it. He's a world-class athlete in his own right.
I heard this quote one point. I think it's true for everybody. You get two lives, and the first one's over the second you realize that that's true. That's been a huge guiding light for me. And to understand, and it's gratitude. I'm extremely grateful for everything, the good, the bad. I know how to take something positive out of everything now. That's the only superpower I have.